So on Tuesday, I decided to
Let's see.
break out open queue for the first time since season 3.
That's a mistake.
Currently, I'm at Plat 2. I started this placement set at Silver 4, which I might be a shit player, but I'm by no means a silver player. So the result of that has been me going 43 and 16 overall this season.
Dude, that must have took weeks with the queue
I
times.
think that open queue is kind of slept on, especially for tank players. There is an alternative to playing role queue and getting counterpicked the whole time. You can play 6v6 style games in open queue right
Yeah, but it's just goats v goats 90% of the time.
now. The vast majority
Especially once you get past a certain level.
of the games you're going to be playing in open queue are going to be 3 tanks, 2 supports.
If you're in the lower ranks, it's actually okay for queue times.
1 DPS, 2 supports, or you're gonna lose the game. Now, a lot of people are gonna be hearing me say that after seeing my rank at a whopping Plat 2. I know, big money over here, but I want to let you know that I'm only 1 rank division away from top 500. If you're like,
That's because it starts at diamond.
oh, but Diamond 2 is just the bottom of this, right? No. That's mostly because not a lot of people are playing it. Open queue comp is less toxic than quick play role queue. In about 60 games, I've dealt with maybe 2, 3 toxic people. Most of the rest of the people have just kind of been vibing. They're doing this to relax.
I kind of have a theory on why that is, and it's because like open queue players are like kind of looked down upon.
After playing a long
They're kind of used to it, you know? Like if they run any top 500 title or anything like that, people are like, dude, the what is that? That's not real. Because like it isn't actually like the game isn't balanced for it anymore. So like they understand, so they just don't care. Yeah.
long day of role queue quick play. But this is a pitch to all you tank players. Queue up some open queue. I promise.
Oh no, we're not doing this. I know so many people that try to push the open queue propaganda, and it's like, no.
So
What is this? An Aspen TikTok?
All right, let's see it.
Wait, they're actually doing it? It's not like a pre-done custom game mode?
Ew. Ew. I love it. I can see why that one's your favorite.
Thank you.
That was cool as heck.
No, it is a custom. Okay, the thing when I asked it was a custom was like, I don't know, it would be something where like the custom game will always play a certain thing. Because like years ago, Somnus had a custom game mode made for me. It was like a happy birthday thing where they played happy birthday on the piano, but it was the custom game that did it. Like there wasn't a sim player in the game doing it. So that was my question. But it sounds like it's different, and you actually have to play it somewhat, or you have to actually play it on the piano.
Man, I've been in some toxic ass open K games if you don't play tank or support.
That is kind of sick though. That is actually so cool.
Explain to me why tank players are the punching bags of Overwatch.
Simple. Single point of failure, single point of contact. Tank is the role nobody wants to play. I'm gonna close out my Overwatch. You just hear my Brian Hammer getting flipped around. Nobody wants to play tank. It has the smallest player population. It's why you can't go back to 6v6 because the queue times would be 30 minutes long. Plus, having a single place where there's a counter swap ability in a game where you can swap at any time, where certain characters counter others, leads to the point of where you can always just swap to the whatever is better. And unless an ultimate is so strong or worth keeping, it's not really worth it. Plus, it's also the playstyle is way easier to counter swap the other guy than to swap and play around your teammates. The value is just too high. So why are you the punching bag? Because you're the big, fat, scary target in the front, and you give ult charge, and when you shoot you in the head, it's like dink, 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 and it sounds nice.
No other role experiences the abuse that we get on tank. You can complain about how everyone bashes on support players for heals and damage players for damage. Well, damage players' role is pretty straightforward. If you're receiving hate on damage, you probably deserve it, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm not
What the?
talking about chat hate or role hate. I'm talking about how it feels like no matter who on my team is dominating or popping off, the enemy 90% of the time, it's just gonna take their anger out on me. I could be having the worst game of my life.
True.
Our Bastion is just shredding the enemy team, getting 5k after 5k, carrying us through team fight over and over as I...
Okay, Bastion's unrealistic, but yeah.
Once again. And next thing I know, they all just decide, oh, no, F that D.Va guy. I hate D.Va. No, let's...
Emo was telling me the other day he had a game where the enemy tank, the enemy Winston on the other team was 32-4. So he swapped Roadhog because his team, like, he just, like, wasn't getting any heals. Everyone's just playing TDM. Happens. If you've ever played ranked, it happens. So he swapped Roadhog because he just wasn't getting healed. Everyone's just doing 1v1s and on the flank and stuff. And the other guy just started flaming. He was like, you're piece of shit for counter swapping me. But the guy was 32-4. 32-4. Like, obviously you're getting multiple team fights every fight. Or, like, team kills. And he's like, you're the worst. And it's like, okay, I get it. Right? But there's another end of it where tank also sucks because, like, you kind of have to work with your team in a game that's no longer really prioritizing team play. So, like, tank is the team play role in a game that is more about solo potential now, more than anything.
Full beam. Let's full counterpick that guy. And they walk out like
at least in ranks. Not pro play is different, but
Brig May out of nowhere, and it's like, I'm not doing anything. I wasn't even getting value before, and now you're just making it to where I can't even play the game. You guys are still gonna get rolled by my Bastion. It's like they know they're gonna lose, so they just want to hurt me. Why?
Dude, everybody likes to pick on the tank players, man. Welcome to the club. Oh, it's OC.
Overwatch players don't understand.
I saw this video about Overwatch and wanted to hear your thoughts on it.
Yo, mods, you want to grab that link? Let me know if it's good.
Counters aren't straightforward. It's easy to say things like Malga beats Winston or Zarya beats Orisa, when the truth is a lot blurrier. The piece of the puzzle that most players are missing is that optimal hero picks, especially on tank, are defined by the map, not just the enemy team's composition.
That's true. But there is definitely a lot in ranked. It's very different in team play, but in ranked, you get a lot of value just by saying, oh, that guy's playing this guy, I'm swapping. And I think it's more dependent on, like, that's why, like, D.Va versus Winston, right? Like, you, because they both occupy the same niche, right? Like, you go D.Va versus Winston because D.Va kind of does a lot to Winston, but Winston can be better in a lot of situations, but you typically play them both on the same map. Does that make sense?
Or your own. For example, on Circuit Royale, Sigma is by far the most popular pick, and the best pick. The higher the rank you go, the more often you'll see Sig. The reasoning for this is that the long sight lines allow for Sig shield and ranged abilities to be used for their full potential.
That's true.
I've heard plenty of players say Ramattra or Zarya, quote-unquote, counter Sigma, but on Circuit Royale...
You know what's funny? Not enough people say Reinhardt counters Sigma. On a lot of maps, it depends on the map. Reinhardt counters the best Sigma. Not enough people say that.
It can end up being the...
Oh, I know why not enough people say it. Ryan's kind of terrible 99% of the time, but he's... I don't know after the recent patch, but the patch before he was low-key pretty good.
The distance Zarya or Ramattra would have to close would be difficult, especially if their opponent has a lot of spam capability, which is most likely the case, since the best supports and DPS for this map are also longer ranged, at least in ranked, not taking into consideration brawl compositions that are played in pro play. You can that are played in...
How is the cart still moving if the thing is back there? Might be scrim? You're right, it's gotta be a scrim.
Play. You can take a look at Ilios and see a similar situation play out. Well and Lighthouse have a strong high ground presence that allows for heroes such as Winston, Doomfist, and D.Va to dominate, even if they are quote-unquote countered. On Ilios runes...
Nah, well, you just pick Hog and stand at the hole and do nothing for the entire game. Trust me, it'll work.
The sightlines are long, so the most effective heroes go back to being your mid to long range tanks. There are also maps that enable brawl compositions with a very short sight.
Surely you won't get booped in by Lucio.
Legion Control Tower or King's Row are great for enabling close range fights, but can also play to mid-range compositions if done correctly. The goal of this video is to show you that counters are not everything, and what is much more important is that the hero you are playing can...
You're right, he's right, 100%. It is not everything. However, you will get immense value literally just by switching heroes 90% of the time. There is that 10% gap, and like as you climb up the ranks, like just counter swapping the entire time isn't always going to win you everything.
coincides with the map you're on. If you're swapping solely based on counters and have no idea what heroes are actually strong on what map you're on, you likely aren't choosing the strongest hero for the situation.
That's,
if you don't know what is
right,
good
100%.
on what map, then I'd recommend you do your own research and try to figure it out for yourself by thinking about the geometry of the map.
I feel like I've been asked so many times, like, what heroes should be played on what maps, but, like, dude, all that, there's so many pieces of content that have been made about that kind of stuff. It's just old now.
I'll be putting out a video in the future providing insight into each map, but that's in the future. If you want more content like this, follow me and check out my Discord.
Have him do it.
You can also put in
that means I'm
for future
do it.
topics and videos, so make sure to check it out.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good. These are always pretty good. These are always pretty good. But I do think that sometimes people do downplay how powerful counter swapping is, because in certain instances it's not always the best thing to do. But like on a game by game basis, you get incredible value. Okay, next. Uh-oh.
Open fire! No, you absolute buffoon. Whenever Zarya has her bubble up, you do not shoot Zarya. It charges her and makes her more powerful. Tactical visor activated.
You know what's funny? The higher you climb, you're not scared of bubbles anymore. You just blow through the bubbles and kill her. You're like, yeah, she bubbled? Okay, that's a bubble. Kill her now. Random Venture roll out such flanks. Yo, before I watch this, can I just say, it's a goddamn shame what Blizzard did to Venture. Why is Venture so weak now? Like, what was the point? Why did they nerf Venture into the ground? Like, Venture sucks now. I feel like I'm watching an SK montage. I don't know where this playlist is from and where they found this music, but I must know now. I don't know why, it just feels so fitting to a Venture montage. That was pretty damn good. I like that one. Sorry, I honestly probably paid more attention to the music than to the rollout, so I'm sorry, but it would look cool.